As thousands make the trek on foot across Europe and thousands more continue to scramble out of Syria for their lives, politicians talk about possible solutions. Many freely admit the heart-wrenching pictures of recent days have had an effect on them and their communities. In Hungary, migrants clashed with police, angry at long delays they're encountering as they're forced to register with the government. That country's Prime Minister has labelled them immigrants, not refugees. Liberal Senator Cory Bernardi agrees. He believes some people are on the move for economic reasons, that they're not seeking safety from harm.
And that is the challenge for us, to distinguish between those who have been opportunistic and those who are truly in need. And Australia will back those truly in need.
The senator also questioned why this Syrian toddler died.
That terrible image wasn't brought around by recent events in Syria or Iraq. That boy and his family had lived in Turkey for 3 years. For 3 years. The money for that boy's father to receive, to pay the people smugglers was sent from Canada. And the father sent them on that boat so the father could get dental treatment.
Cory Bernardi's an embarrassment to this parliament. Cory Bernardi, should really have a good look at himself and the implications of some of the things that he says.
Ministers and MPs say whatever the government decides on how many asylum seekers should be accepted, priority will go to Syrian Christian groups and other persecuted minorities.
I believe there will be a focus on ensuring we can get access to those persecuted ethnic and religious minorities who will have no home to return to, even when the conflict is over. So that includes Maronites, it includes Yazidis, there are Druze.
Well, I think that any Christian walking around in Syria and many of those places throughout the Middle East at the moment, because of Islamic State, basically has a target on their forehead or a dotted line around their neck where ISIS wants to cut. So if your life is threatened, as their lives are, they should be prioritised.
Omar Rostam, his wife, 3 kids and his parents now have what he calls a beautiful life in Australia.
ISIS killed everyone. I think we must make, or Australian government must give chance for all of the Syrian people from all of their religions, and Syrian people deserve to get beautiful new life.
The family is Sunni Muslim. They fled their home in Homs to escape Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. They lived in a camp in Lebanon for about 1.5 years before arriving in Australia late last year through the help of UNICEF.
Yes, I'm Muslim and I'm Sunni, but not the danger because I am Sunni, no. Because this world don't know about anything about Sunni or Christian or Alawi or Shia. All of them in danger. I want to tell to Australia government and people, you are very great, you are very beautiful, you are very kindness with us. But I think all of people, Syrian people, need to getting good chance, new chance for new life. Not just Christian.
People who look like us as well.
The Australian Christian lobby's LYLE Shelton believes the most vulnerable should be the priority, and he says right now they're Christian.
A year or so ago we were helping Yazidis, and that was the right thing to do. They're a Muslim minority. It's the human suffering that we should focus on, regardless of the religious or ethnic group. In this case, though, it is Christians who are suffering.
During the 2011-12 financial year, when the Arab Spring reached Syria, Australia granted just 9 Syrian nationals humanitarian and refugee visas. The following financial year, that increased to 98. In the last 2 years, it's jumped to more than 1,000 and 2,000 visas respectively.
I call the member for Sydney.
Those figures became debating points as Labor sought to wedge the government.
Why has Australia's support decreased as this crisis has worsened? And will the government support Labor's call for an urgent $100 million to assist Syrians and Iraqis caught in this terrible conflict?
I know the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs is desperate to play politics here, but I am going to resist that temptation.
Members on my
and I am
left.
going to stick to the facts. I am going to stick to the facts. In the last year, when members opposite were in government, just 98 people were taken.
The Syrian refugee crisis dominated this morning's Coalition Party Room meeting. 17 MPs spoke in a discussion that lasted about an hour. Cabinet's National Security Committee meets tonight and it's expected to approve the extension of military operations against Islamic State to include Syria. Immigration Minister Peter Dutton will update the meeting from Geneva on his talks with the UN and other agencies about what help Australia can give to assist Syrian asylum seekers. Cabinet's expected to reconvene tomorrow to endorse its decisions. Anwar Rostam is also hopeful it can help find a lasting solution to the war in his homeland.
I must say to Australian government, thank you. I must say to Australian people, thank you for smiling all the time and help us. We need your help.
Bravo,